is day 920 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. We'd be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Zim Tough Ratio Ches. See, Yud Beis to Tough Ratio Test. Sif Dal. Sif Dal. Yud Beis. If two doctors say he has to eat, if you may even $100 say he doesn't have to eat, even the doctor is more than 100 or 100 first. To try to mail, two are like 100. Came to try to tzarech, and since two say he has to eat, nothing can contradict them. And if the patient is one of the two, he and a doctor. If the 100 say don't have to, we don't say we don't say that the patient's opinion should not count because he is really just following the doctor. We don't say this. A doctor who says he has no familiarity with this disease, is just like a regular person. His words are meaningless, neither way, neither to allow eating nor disallow eating. This topic, it's not like a questionable situation. The Rofei, where the doctor's not sure. Where we spoke about, there he knows the disease. He's not sure if the patient can tolerate the fast or not. If he is not knowledgeable of the disease, he's not considered a doctor for this purpose. He has no chalei shem reifei for this purpose. However, is very weak. That it seems to most people who are in his environs that he's in danger, he does not eat. Certainly a ill person who's in the bed, you don't need our opinions. And he's definitely considered a cholesh b'sakona. Today I'm not sure we'd say that because we have medications to handle many conditions, and the medications are rarely in the category of a Michael, which would be also which would be violating Yom Kippur. So therefore, I assume we'd be much more ready to give medication, and we're more hesitant to actually permit outright eating. The Ram does not go with the principle we said in Yud Beis. He says that if some of the doctors say he has to eat, some doctors say he doesn't have to eat. You go after the majority, or those who are more expert. The doctors argue, and they're all experts. And those say he doesn't have to eat a the same as number says he has to eat. So give him to eat. We learn from Zohar, there's no difference between two and fewer than two. There's no difference between lenient or stringent. You always follow the majority or the expertise. So that means that in the if they're all equivalent in knowledge, you go after the majority. Shavin b'mispar, and if they're equivalent in number, we go after the more knowledgeable. If in one way of looking at it, it's a majority. If I guess by number they're majority. Mute in the minority, they're more knowledgeable. It would seem it's like 50-50. We go and we're lenient. Wrote, as we said previously. In terms of halacha, is a general great principle. Whether it's a suffix in halacha or machlokas on the poskim, we are lenient matters of pikuach nefesh. So now he says in the brackets, there are in the area of Eastern Europe, Russia, there were field doctors. Field doctors were, as he explains, they do not have government authorization to give doctors. And then the doctors are called full doctors, who have authorization, have licenses from the government. The feldsher doctor has no authority vis-a-vis relative to the doctor's authority. Perhaps, however, Lakula, we do go after the Felshor's perspective. If he's an expert in the city, he's held to be an expert in the city. The something the Fashis local, it's something the Fashis believe. And it was like that in most of Russia, in those places. There was not real doctor in most small Shneflach. There were only the Felshors. So over the years, they probably gathered significant expertise to put them perhaps on a plane where they, as the Arukh HaShulchan says, they should be taken into account in Lakula. Perhaps today, I don't know exactly, perhaps there is certain nurses would be in the gather of a Felshor because they have great expertise, but they don't have the license that a doctor has. It might be very similar. When you give the pregnant woman or the sick person to eat, initially you give them little by little. They should start for shear, so it shouldn't make up a full shear. So shear is kosevas agasa, right? I think they so give like approximately 2/3 of a average egg. A little bit more. You should basically wait then the amount that it takes to eat 4 eggs. At least not less than 3 eggs. And then eat a little bit more. And so to ad nauseum, ad for night. So you shouldn't eat a koseves in K'dei Pras. We go after each person's moli lubo. Chikfo. The day we check how much is the luma of that doctor, of that patient. And drinks a little bit less than the shear. And also, she should delay between each drink. It takes 3 or 4, 3 eggs. Meaning and not less, so the amount of time it takes to drink revius, which is shorter. That's the Rambam, that's the opinion of the Rambam. And then you should wait again, and over and over again. Now, we give the people who ask us a midah for eating and for drinking. Generally speaking, the assumption is that less than an ounce, less than an ounce, both achilas and siyah is considered less than a shear, and for sure, and therefore you can have that an ounce of food and an ounce of liquid every k'dei achilas pras. And he says shir k'dei achilas pras l'shisha v'shiva minutin. It's 6 or 7 minutes, preferably 7, but you have it 6 between each drink or each eating. Of course, there are other more lenient shurim for k'dei achilas pras, but that is appropriate average kind of shear. There's a shear up to 9 minutes, so this is somewhere in the middle. Bishop says that Chorim say you should check Erev Yom Kippur by putting stuff in your mouth in order to reckon how much to look of, and Erev Yom Kippur you should look at the watch, the clock, how many minutes he tarries. Not sure we're looking at only on Erev Yom Kippur. The Chulas Chasim Service says that this Hafshik Shvi, like 9 minutes, like we said. That's a shear of the Echilas Pras. So the Chazim Sofer is more machmir. Tesva, the Dara Pashtu is clear. This is when it's enough to the sick person. They reckon they needs a lot in one shot. Or the sick person says he needs a lot. They're not sure if this is enough for him or not. You can eat as much as he needs. You can give him to drink as much as he needs. Took him without any restrictions. And we know this, you speak and it's almost certain by us, says Arukh HaShulchan, that the normal illnesses which put people in bed and a woman who is who gives birth, that is, these shurim work normally and they suffice. These are evidently more severe illnesses. I'm not sure exactly what they are. The refuah has to eat a lot. We don't curtail and restrain their eating. The Biur brings down from some Tshuva Sefer, the base tzaddik, I know that is, that even is allowed to eat 1 time more than the shear. On the second time, it would be sufficed as less than a shear, and he eats more than a shear, he's chayav kaves. It's a bit of a plea. I would think once he broke the fast, he broke the fast. Therefore, you have to make the reckoning by each and every eating. You have to be very, very conscientious and diligent. It's a chiddush to me. Could be just I never thought about it before, but you already broke the fast. You had more than a shear once. How can you have courage afterwards? It started clear to me. Tesva, I'm sorry, we did this. Rancherif Locus Claudian says the Ramarif did not write this law at all. They should Shas Lim Tzadin Zalim Yom Kippurim. In Shas, there is no the halacha of Pachas Bakashir is not written by Yom Kippur. It's about a pregnant woman who smelled a fragrance, a prohibited fragrance. That would give her from the prohibited substance less than a shear. They extrapolate the Rosh Hashanah for sick people in Yom Kippur. It's only would only apply to a pregnant woman who smelled that fragrance. And by her, the eating is not the essential part. Not by an ill person where they would skip to whatever they felt necessary not to focus because the share. Because Ramadin Zeb Perigdam Mechosa. So it's the Yudal and Chop. Family to Shulchan Aruch, there's I told Shulchan Aruch that we do try and do Pachas Pachas L'Shir, and I don't know what the Magen Avraham says, but the bracket says here, V'lo Nagin K'mosh K'as Magen Avraham Sim Kon Ches B'Shem Abach. We don't do what Magen Avraham wrote. Tez Zayin Mishal Chaza Bomus, somebody who sees by Bomus, V'choli Shabbat Machazeh Avon. It's a kind of hysterical disease which comes from being hungry. His eyes are dim. He can't see. So he can eat until his vision is restored. If there's no permitted food there, give prohibited food. There are two types of prohibited substances. Give him the lesser prohibition first. Rambam gives the hierarchy in Balchos Matzos. And Achli B'Aaron said, "B'Yodeh Simpein." Or Shimon explains that you're there. V'Yitzorach about Levasar, he needs meat in Machim Osan Nevela Shchuta. Do we give whether we give him Nevela or Shchuta? In other words, we shecht an animal for him on Yom Kippur. Needs bar le'el Simon Shinkov Ches. Take a look at Hilchos Shabbos. Yitzay Chol Shachal B'Yom Kippur and Chol Ein Yom Kippur. Nisei Asher B'Daito B'Yish Yachol Levarech. And he has his equilibrium restored to the point that he can bench. Start last, he has to mention Yom Kippur. Because Yishma Yalav Yava come up with tefillah. It says Yalav Yava. But B'nai Yerushalayim says B'nai Yerushalayim come up with Yom like every Yom Tov. Chabad Shabbos Omer Tzei Bel Chisein. If it's Shabbos and Yom Kippur, says it say. The Acharonim fakbim are baby dinzeh. The Acharonim are really not sure about this halacha. Sharei lo ayom garem achila machlas garmalo. It's not you're not eating because days eating because of the sickness. It's not a day which is chayv in Yalav Yavo. Why would you mention it? I don't know how people actually conduct themselves with this. Mishnah Berurah says if you forgot to say Yalav Yavo or it's saying it comes on Shabbos, and you mentioned, if you remember after you finish B'nai Yerushalayim, you certainly don't go back and say it. So it's in the Quran. Mishnah Berurah seems clearly you do say it, but yeah, it's not a problem. Mu Kiddush Vada Ein Tzarich. Kiddush for sure you don't make. You know, don't have to make. There's a story that when there was a famous cholera outbreak in Vilna, the Sosan got up and ate on the bima in the main shul in order to show that it was mutter that Yom Kippur, so that he made Kiddush first. But I'm not sure it's required to make Kiddush, but just for emphasis. But in any event, it doesn't see the says you definitely don't need to make Kiddush. Tafresh test Dine Tfilas Kol Nidrei U'Ma'ariv. Lochas of Kol Nidrei and of Ma'ariv. Av Leil Kippur the evening Yom Kippur Noagim Shekodim she's the evening of Yom Kippur Noagim Shekodim she's spelling custom before we daven Matim L'Chol V'Yam we allow all the sinners to daven us. Hey, the Shnuchal L'Spalel L'Imay Bagud Achas we daven in one group. K'Daminam Menachas like it says Menachas. The Batzos tiniest of Tfilos when we're trying to have our Ta'anios and our Tfilos accepted. Tzrichim Shei Toivim V'Roim V'Agud Achas. The good people and the bad people have to get together in one group. Shneimar says V'Agudaso Al Eretz Yisrael. His group on land he founded. If you have fast, which is not include sinners, Ain't it's not of acceptable fat. As you know, the chelbana had a bad smell. Because yet it was included in the ingredients of the Ketores. Based case of material, how do we permit this? The gadol in the congregation, the rav, or whoever is in lieu of the rav, and two other people, get together so they would consider shluchim of the entire tzibur. Former gadol b'yeshiva shamala, and the greatest person says yeshiva shamala b'yeshiva shamata dasa makol dasa kol arim matim l'spal l'rayonim. Klama sheyeshivos maskimin l'tzaref dasa makol l'dasa kol. That the yeshivas, I'm not sure what it means, the yeshivas here, consent to join together the das of Hashem and the das of Kila, latir lohem, to permit the criminals to daven with them, or them to daven the criminals. Yesh kol shashatzom zev hu ein tzarech tzibur shnayim shel shliach tzibur. There are those who say the place where the shliach tzibur says on das hamakom, which is most places nowadays, he doesn't need two people together with him because he's a shliach tzibur, he's a shliach of everybody. They don't have to have the three people standing together. Shartian says the minhag is that we do add two people who stand next to the shliach tzibur. That is the custom as far as I've seen it always. Kimbo b'acharcha omer shliach tzibur, and then shliach tzibur rises and says kol nidrei b'nigun shlosh panim, says kol nidrei in a chant 3 times. Kol nidrei it's a kol nidrei is meaningless. My baby never shvua. It goes out saying it doesn't help for a nether or a shvua nishbachem, which you took to others. Shelo daito nishbach, because they're not making a shvua on your cognizance, but on the cognizance of the person who's making you take the shvua. Because certainly by oaths one makes to the king of the country, the government, who have no way to be master such a netter. Even with shvua sindar, which are specifically pertain specifically to you. Kagon such as nishma another. So Geshvua Neder Shlo Yochal Basar, you're not going to eat meat, or Yisana, or you're going to fast, etc. Ein Zemoyel, it's not effective. El B'Manel Lahaba, Shekol Neder Shel Du Yebata. Yishkaseh B'Shlas HaNeder. Said he's going to, he stipulated that he's making addition that anytime he takes the Neder, it's Yebatel, as long as he forgets to call Nidrei at the time he takes the Neder. So matir any shvus retroactively means meaningless for past shvus, but it goes on future shvus. And also only shvus which are beino lebein atzmo, not shvus you know to others, because those shvus in the norm you can't be matir, it can't even be stipulate, because it's not sal das lachem. But he says, he says, since it's a standard statement we make, it's not really possible to forget it. Mishabura says the stipulation is effective if he doesn't remember the condition at the time he takes the nether, but remembers the condition and nevertheless takes the nether, you uproot the stipulation of Kol Nidrei. But Arukh HaShulchan is going further than this. He says, since it's just a formula which you say on Yom Kippur, it's meaningless. It's not considered to be an effective formula. And who rock tefillah? So you prayer, you call tefillah, it's like all prayers. Ramezes, and it hints should kubal tefillah senek abur b'tok tibur azor and ifas ma'uzor kol kanitre. Hints that our tefillah should be accepted, like is implicit in the words of the Zohar which people say before Kol Nidrei. Called tefillah mochunim b'shem tefillas Kol Nidrei. The entire tefillah is called the tefillah of Kol Nidrei, not the stipulation. The based according to ancient opinions, the opinion would be the Kol Nidrei is going on the Durham which have been made in the past. To lie over a lamb, that they perhaps they violate them, so the Jews should not be punished. That's what immediately you say afterwards. It should be forgiven to all the Jewish people. The Indarno Ishtabana. Shuavar. The Indarno Ishtabana sounds like it's going to pass. Because in Yom Kippurim Shuavar, Yom Kippurim has that. When we made, they used to say actually from past Yom Kippur until today. So it's like our HaToras and Durham, Erev Rosh Hashanah. It's difficult. Well, how is it going to work to allow what already we violated in the past? Kachmish, therefore, he said, "Lahabokah, in the future. Im Nadur, if he's going to take a netter, he's supposed to be no. Tiyan Nuskam Yom Kippurim said Yom Kippurim Abba. He actually changed the Nuskam from this Yom Kippur to the next Yom Kippur. Please, Sarkamar, the E Nadirna, not the Indarna, but the E Nadirna, if I'm taking netter. The D Ishtabana, if I take a Shua. Lashon language of the future. We can say the Indarna Ishtabana, which is a little past tense. And we say from this Yom Kippur to the next Yom Kippur, it is a paradox. Those who say silently, Yom Kippur, in order to make the language fit. Yom Kippurim avar ad Yom Kippurim hazeh, Yom Kippur hazeh, Yom Kippurim haba. Last Yom this Yom Kippur, this Yom Kippur, next Yom Kippur. But the Taravayaka is going on both on the past and the future. Mishabura, as it says among Abraham, says you can still say dinidarna, not the indarna, but the nidarna. That would also indicate the future. Shmuel says minhag is like Rabbeinu Tam that we say Yom Kippurim Zad, Yom Kippurim Haba.